Hello everyone, and welcome to Survivor's Sanctuary. This channel is where healing meets truth, and where your story is honored exactly as it is. I'm Susan, a Certified Somatic Trauma-Informed Coach. I am also an intuitive coach, and I offer guidance in numerology and astrology as well. I'm also a Libra, and in numerology I'm a life path 11, which means I've spent my entire life learning to balance harmony, intuition, and inner strength. This space is for every survivor who's ever felt unseen, unworthy, unheard, or disconnected from their own intuition. And for anyone who simply needs the reminder that they are worthy, they are seen and capable of reclaiming their lives. For years, I stepped away from creating content to focus on my own healing and to work on my book, which is still in progress. During that time, I learned to come home to my body, to listen to my nervous system, and to trust my intuition. And that work has been the foundation of my healing. In the past, this channel focused mainly on new moon and full moon insights, along with guided meditations. While I will continue sharing meditations, this space is now evolving into a more inspirational, motivational, and healing sanctuary. Here we explore emotional patterns that keep us stuck, the cosmic cycles that influence our growth, and somatic tools to help us reconnect with our inner strength. I want to remind you, you are not broken, and you are not alone. You are enough, and you deserve a life that feels like freedom. This is Survivor Sanctuary, a space for healing the body, honoring the soul, and reclaiming your power. One breath, one insight, and one story at a time. Welcome home, my friend. In this first episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about my personal story, some numerology and astrology and inner strength. I met my now ex when I was just 14 years old, long before I knew who I was, long before I understood my own worth, and long before I had any sense of the patterns I would spend decades living inside. By 19, we were married. In those early years, there were times where he could be so warm and affectionate and deeply loving. And then, without warning, he would turn cold, distant, or hostile. It felt like living with two different people. One who adored me, and one who resented my very existence. Now, for a long time, I blamed myself. I thought, if I could just be more patient, more loving, more quiet, more agreeable, maybe the tenderness would last. What am I doing wrong? My sun sign is Libra, and as a Libra, harmony was and still is my heartbeat. Peace, balance, connection. These were the energies I was born into. And like so many Libras, I didn't just want harmony. I worked for it. I bent, I stretched, I softened, and I smoothed every rough edge, hoping it would create the relationship that I believed was possible. But that almost meant I stayed far too long in places where my kindness was exploited, where my desire for balance became a trap, and where my natural empathy was used against me. The cycle of being put on a pedestal and then torn down became my normal. The love bombing, gaslighting, manipulation, coercive control, intermittent reinforcement, I didn't have names for any of these back then. I only had confusion, lots of self-doubt, and the constant feeling of walking on emotional eggshells. Looking back, I now understand that what held me there wasn't weakness. It was a trauma bond. One that lasted nearly 40 years. 40 years. But deep inside me, something stronger was always there. I'm not just a Libra. In numerology, I'm a life path 11, known as the intuitive, the visionary, the spiritual messenger. Life paths 11 often learn through profound emotional experiences. That sure is familiar. We absorb, we feel, we attune, and then we awaken. And that awakening can take time. It can even take decades. But when it arrives, it is powerful. For me, the awakening began quietly. Numerology helped me see my life cycles, my patterns that repeated year after year, lessons returning until I was ready to hear them. And astrology reminded me that balance isn't about sacrificing myself. It was about honoring myself. And then came somatic healing. My new best friend helped me listen to the wisdom my body had been whispering all along. The tightness in my chest, the heaviness in my gut, the way my breath would disappear in conversations that were supposed to feel safe. My body knew the truth before my mind could even accept it. And slowly, breath by breath, insight by insight, I began to reclaim my inner strength. My turning point wasn't dramatic by any means. It wasn't loud. It was a quiet knowing, a gentle but unshakable realization. I am meant for more than surviving. I am allowed to choose myself and not feel guilty. And no matter what age I am allowed to begin again. Today I share this story not as a woman defined by 4 decades of emotional abuse, but as a Libra who finally found her balance. As in a life path 11 who stepped into her intuition, and as a survivor who discovered her strength in the very places she thought was the weakest. This podcast, Survivor Sanctuary, is part of that healing. It's my offering, my truth, me being vulnerable and just saying, hey, I know I'm not the only one out there going through these things, and it's okay to not always look like you are the perfect person and that your life is wonderful. We all have a lot of junk in our closet. My space for you is to find your own patterns, your own cycles, your own voice, and your own freedom. This is my sanctuary, and now it's yours too. So with this, I want to offer you a little bit about the universal year in numerology. That is going to be a universal year 1. This year, 2025, is a 9. And that's all about closures and endings and, really having to let go of a lot of things that we created over the last 9 years. It goes in 9-year cycles, 9 being endings. And this can be personal, it can be universal, it can be all kinds of things. So going into 2026, we're going into a 1 year, which marks the beginning of a brand new 9-year cycle for the entire planet. It is the seed planting year. It's full of firsts, restarts, and bold new directions. So I would say as a universal 1 year, there's going to be a lot of new global beginnings. Innovation, invention, breakthroughs, leadership, energy rising, individual empowerment, courage, taking initiative, and reinvention. It's a year where old cycles fall away and new ones, well, they haven't quite fully formed yet. So they both can be chaos and a bit of fresh vitality. You can think of it as a cosmic reset button for the entire world. While a year 1 begins a cycle, each number also carries the tone of the 4-digit year. So let's look at that just briefly. 2026. 2s are about cooperation, diplomacy, sensitivity, relationships. 0, divine potential, spiritual reset. 2 again can be duality, intuition. And 6, harmony, responsibility, home, nurturing, environment, and healing. So blended, it kind of feels like this. New beginnings that involve relationships, partnerships, and alliances. A global push towards healing, social, environmental, and family. Shifts in justice and caregiving, education, and community. Higher emotional sensitivity, and major new technology, policies, or movements that can launch. On a social level, we may be looking at the formation of new global groups, new leadership styles, more focus on collective well-being, people redefining identity and purpose, new creative humanitarian initiatives, and innovations in home and health. Everyone feels called to start new chapters, take risks, step into independence, cut ties with the old cycles, and build the foundation for the next 9 years, which would be 2034. That even sounds crazy to say that. You may feel a mix of excitement and uncertainty as we approach this universal year of 1. 2026 is really a bold new beginning for humanity. We have to ask ourselves, who are we becoming next as a planet? What new path are we ready to take? What must be healed before we can move forward? Again, like I said, it's a launch and it's a reset, carrying both the fire of change and the heart-centered energy of the 6, which is very nurturing and healing. So just think of this year coming up as a new beginning for new chapters, which can be in all areas of your life. Independence and self-discovery. You may feel the urge to take charge in your life and make decisions that reflect who you are on a deeper level. Initiative and action. So it's a year of taking bold steps forward. So procrastination's not going to be a great friend right now. Not that it ever is. And breaking old patterns. Year 1 energy encourages leaving behind those old habits, which hopefully you are doing as we end 2025. And again, lots of new, fresh opportunities. New doors may open that set the stage for long-term growth. So what seeds do you want to plant now that you want to see develop over the next 9 years? And this could be something that develops in the next year or so. But if you had a wide open canvas that you could paint any picture and create your illusion of what you want your future to look like, you've got a blank canvas right now going into 2026. What do you want to paint on that beautiful canvas, waiting for you to implement on it what you desire? Or you can think of a field where you want to plant the seeds of what you want to grow. So take a moment to really sit and think about this as you enter into 2026. For most of us, we typically start feeling this energy shifting or as early as September. So a lot of us should already be feeling this different shift and change in our bodies and how we want to move forward with our future. With that being said, there's a lot to look forward to in this new year ahead. And even though you can change your mind and change whatever you're planning to do with your life any given day, it doesn't have to be at the end of a year, at the beginning of a new year. It's just that this particular time, universally as a whole, we are all going through ending 2025 as a 9-year cycle and beginning a new 9-year cycle in 2026. Your energy, your vibration, your thoughts, your energy are going to play a huge part in what we're creating right now. Focus on your gratitude. Focus on love, light, healing. And don't allow yourself to get lost in the darkness and the negativity. We all have personal years that we're going into as well. And I would be happy to help you with that going forward if you're interested. Now, I'm excited to share a special Black Friday offer with my Survivor Sanctuary community for a limited time only. I am offering intuitive readings and coaching sessions, blending energy insight, blending some numerology, astrology, and even tarot cards if you're interested in healing guidance at a special rate of 30 minutes for $55. Whether you're seeking clarity, emotional support, guidance for your next chapter and what 2026 might have in store for you, this session is designed to meet you exactly where you are. My website is still under construction, so I was hesitant to do this, but I kept feeling the urge to. So for now, you can email me directly to book your session while I still have some slots open. My email is in the show notes below. I look forward to connecting with you and supporting you on your journey, wherever it may take you. Remember, I love you, and you are worth it. Bye for now.